In there, guys.
Thanks, Homer.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and this is getting more and more bizarre as the release of Animal Crossing and Doom Eternal have been shifted around by Gamestop in order to try and reduce crowds at their store. They have become the kind of persona non grata, I suppose, in the game journalism field, and they continue daily pressure by not just game journalists, but now their own employees are rising up and asking for, at very minimum, some help to deal with everything going on out there. And now law enforcement has even started to show up at the stores and demand they close. But thank goodness, GameStop has armed general managers with a form letter to hand them to tell them, no, we are in fact essential retail and we will stay open.
Sir, for your own safety, we do advise you to evacuate.
I ain't leaving. I was born in this nursing home and I'll die in this nursing home.
But now, this whole thing, by the way, I have a letter from a GameStop employee that I'm going to read, which is, you know, pretty heartbreaking to me anyway. This whole situation is complex. Look, my father was just furloughed for a month. Essentially, no notice, burn up all your vacation, then go on unemployment. My wife is about to be furloughed for at least 2 weeks now. Burn up your vacation or go on unemployment. Now, my state has said, look, you can go on unemployment. We're not going to ask you to be seeking other jobs. We're going to be... So, like, our government is actually doing some things correct and helping citizens deal with this. But the people hit strongest by this are the hourly people. And by the way, also shout out to my truck driver, janitors, and other people who are working double and triple time during this to keep us all safe. I read an email from a trucker who was telling me about the insane shifts he's on, and obviously people in retail who are dealing with people who are acting out. Look, I understand folks are concerned and stressed and afraid, but that's still no excuse to be terrible to your fellow humans. Now, I have been on, I've been one of those people that have stood in defense at times of GameStop, even when all the journalists out there are now writing these articles demanding they close. But I think I've kind of reached my final breaking point. It's time to close GameStop down. I don't believe they are essential retail in any way. And if they're not going to give their employees the tools to protect themselves, then they should shut down. And by the way, they should also pay their employees something while they're closed down. See, this is a complex issue because many of the GameStop employees are not salary and therefore they don't have insurance. And a close down would mean an immediate stop to their income flow. The problem is, while some companies are choosing to lay their employees off with pay, I don't believe GameStop is in that financial position to do so. They're also staring down the barrel of several very big releases, whether it's Doom Eternal or Animal Crossing. We've got Final Fantasy VII Remake. We've got several large releases coming up here in the next few months, and also new consoles later this year. And on top of that, the struggling that GameStop has done, they can't really afford to miss these dates. Now, what they should do, quite honestly, is I'm not going to bury this. What they should do is quite simple. One, at the very minimum, you should be arming your employees with proper cleaning supplies. If you cannot do that, then do not pass go. In like the flow chart, right? Can you provide basic cleaning supplies and antibacterial sprays and things like that to your employees? Yes? Okay, now we can have a more complex conversation. No? Shut it down and give them some sort of pay. I don't care how you make this work. Look, GameStop could convert a lot of these pre-orders to shipping. They could use their fulfillment warehouses to get you the games early. They could work with the games manufacturers to break street date a little bit, something I think most manufacturers will be totally fine with. They could even close the stores. How about this? You could close the stores and pay employees to ship the games out from the store, right? You give everyone USPS flat rate boxes. and your local game store can ship out these games. They'll be to you the day the game comes out, or even a day before. That way, your employees can still get paid. The gamers can still get their games. There's really no reason for that human interaction, and GameStop is getting lambasted for it. Here's this article on The Verge. GameStop claims it's, quote, essential retail to remain open amid shutdowns. Law officials will be given a phone number to call the company's corporate office. GameStop is instructing its retail employees to keep the store open, even in the face of local authorities who would seek to shut them down.
They're not robots! It's a figure of speech, Morty! They're bureaucrats! I don't respect them! Just keep
Making me money.
Quote, GameStop is working diligently during this unprecedented time to provide our customers and associates with the safest environment possible. That's not what I hear. This is, of course, I'm reading the actual GameStop tweet here, in which they include some articles. The company said in a statement posted to its website on Thursday, quote, we're implementing changes to our retail operations that we make so we may continue to provide essential products to our customers that allows them to stay connected and provide products that allow business and consumers to work remotely. What products does GameStop provide in their store that helps businesses work remotely? Would it be the blind reveal Rick and Morty boxes that are 80% off? Would it be the Turtle Beach headsets, I suppose you could say? There is no business hardware inside of GameStop that allows businesses to work remotely. Are you saying that people can't get routers from Amazon? Are you saying people couldn't buy routers from your website? This is absurd. GameStop has said it's, quote, instituting multiple social distancing practices in stores by allowing 10 people in at a time, reducing store hours, rolling out a delivery at store policy so customers can pick up orders outside the retail location. This is a good idea. Suspending trade-ins until March 29th, postponing all events and midnight launches, and disabling all indoor game stations. These are all good moves. And if you did these and your employees all had reasonable cleaning supplies, I think I could understand why you stay open. Because make no mistake about it, there are a lot of people that are hourly that would rather be going to work right now. They need the money. And if your company isn't going to do what I would hope is the right thing, find a way to pay your people for a couple of weeks until you figure out what you're going to do, whether it's in-store fulfillment or whatever the case may be, then you should, at the very minimum, be protecting them. Instead of instructing its retail employees to stay home, GameStop has also said it's, quote, providing all stores with necessary supply of disinfectant materials and hand sanitizer.
liar!
And only allowing employees to remain home if they are sick or experiencing flu-like symptoms. Okay, well, now when we look at a tweet that was sent internally, here from Nintendo, internal GameStop memo instructs store managers to remain open even when told by local authorities. And here is the letter you'll see. Due to the products we carry that enable and enhance the customer's experience in working from home, we believe GameStop is classified as an essential retail and therefore is to remain open during this time. We've received reports of local authorities visiting the stores in an attempt to enforce closure despite our classification. Store managers are approved to provide the document linked below to law enforcement as needed. And here it is. Here's a banner or a flyer. Thank you for what you are doing to keep us all safe. If you have questions about our store's hours, operations, or policies, I ask you please call our corporate office. Thank you for understanding. Of course, they then sent a letter to customers on March 19th at 2:30 saying, GameStop is working diligently during this time, this unprecedented time, to provide our customers and associates with the safest environment possible. We're implementing changes to our retail operations so that we may continue. And then, of course, specific actions we have taken include the following. Instituting multiple social distancing practices in our stores, such as allowing 10 customers in a store at any given time. Sure, but those 10 people could all be standing on top of each other or coughing all over everything. Following CDC recommended guidelines to adopt in-store line management policies that create a 6-foot parameter between customers in checkout lines. What about your employees? Reducing our store's hours from 12 to 8, which will be in place until Sunday, March 29th. Rolling out a delivery at door service to allow customers to pick up their purchases at the front door of our U.S. store locations. Again, that's a good one. suspending temporarily our video game and consumer electronics trading practices, postponing all gaming events, disabling temporarily all interactive gaming stations, and encouraging customers to leverage online. We're all in this together, but we don't care about our customers. Now, there are people, again, I've said that I'm sort of on the fence here. I think businesses should be allowed to stay open if they want. I think we're getting kind of in this a little gray area here, like give me liberty or give me death, unless there's a flu going around, then go ahead and take all of my rights, government. Here's an email I received from a GameStop employee that kind of changed my mind. Like, here again, bottom line, what you should do is at the very minimum offer your employees an opportunity to take time off at some, even if reduced pay. Okay, that's what you should do. If you can't provide them proper cleaning supplies, this is bare minimum. This is from one of my sources at GameStop. I've been following the situation for months. I was telling my higher-ups in store we needed more supplies in February and none ever came. I've been buying supplies to keep myself, my regulars, and my coworkers safe, but no one is safe with the current situation in our stores. Thing is, even if we had supplies, there's no training about how to clean or sanitize anything, like at a restaurant, let alone a reference for what those words even mean. This past week has been a very stressful time in my life. Every morning I've woken up to an adrenaline rush that induced a panic attack, and I'm just getting ready to go sell video games. All respect to my fellow retail workers at Costco, Walmart, and things like that. I've never had a panic attack before, and now that's a thing. With high sales in this worldwide situation, I'm substituting words out, I've also been worried about straight up having to deal with being robbed, especially being alone in the store very often. Physically, I'm well. Mentally, I'm totally distraught. On top of regular hours and lack of supplies, customers are coming in and acting normal, ignoring social distancing practices. Kids are running around, touching stuff. People are bringing in dirty junk to trade in, and then getting mad when we refuse to touch their stuff. Communication from corporate are the most untenable at all. I've heard questions like, what is your plan going forward? How is tomorrow going to be different? And how does something else change, somewhere else change anything? All of these questions from corporate are meant to scare and pressure us into coming into work without question. Even though tomorrow we might run out of cleaner or gloves or whatever, GameStop seems to be using actual fear tactics on their lowly gamer employees. I enjoy my job to a certain extent. I was happy to supply a reprieve from these stressful times, but my mental degradation has been too rapid. And the company has shown no signs of giving any form of support or reprieve to us. My accrued paid time off will support me for a little while. Hopefully, stores are closed officially before that is expended. GameStop's actions are shocking, if not outright disturbing, especially compared to what other retailers are doing for similar non-essential retail employees. Something has to change ASAP. I've already emailed governors and things like that. And then they go on to talk about, thanking me. And by the way, I've received several other emails from other employees. Hey, I work at GameStop here, and then there's just this new policy. Again, I don't like putting people who need their paychecks off without any question. I know that at some point there might just not be any money, but at the very minimum, you should try to work with people that aren't comfortable, that you should be providing at very minimum cleaning supplies and training to your employees on how to just manage things. Because once you empower people, then they won't be so stressed out and they'll be able to manage things better. I think it's laughable that GameStop categorizes themselves as essential. At this point, I'm not convinced anymore. I had thought they were just going to close on Friday after Doom and Animal Crossing, but at this point, I'm getting less and less sure that's the case. Stay safe out there, my GameStop brethren and sisterin. I'll be pulling for you and hoping that GameStop does the right thing. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.